everyone, my name is Saloni.
I'm Nathan.
My name is Daniel.
And my name is Lavanya.
And today we're going to be taking a deep look into artificial intelligence. So AI refers to a set of technologies that have the ability to perform tasks that typically require human intelligence, things like digital assistance and facial recognition. And as AI transforms numerous aspects of society, it is referred to as the Industrial Revolution 4.0. We analyze the impacts of AI in numerous different lenses, starting off with the effects on society. So, AI is involved in automating tasks and also analyzing large volumes of data, and this increases convenience, productivity, and also minimizes human error, which as a whole has the potential to significantly improve the standard of living. In terms of education, AI can automate grading, and it can also provide a more personalized learning experience. In terms of safety, AI can enhance monitoring, and a study by Deloitte found that AI in cities can improve safety by up to 40%. And in the transportation field, autonomous vehicles can reduce traffic accidents, congestion, and emissions. And so at the same time, bias in AI can also worsen social and economic inequalities. The data that is used to train AI and the engineers who design its algorithms often have these unconscious biases that then translate into the AI. And furthermore, with the lack of testing, these biases may not be identified and addressed.
So artificial intelligence in science and technology. Artificial intelligence has a variety of applications in science, and one of the biggest ones in medicine. And the two main things in medicine are healthcare and public safety. So one example of AI in public safety is its use for statistical gathering and documentation. And so an example of this was during the COVID-19 pandemic, the government used artificial intelligence to collect data on the population and to see who came into contact with COVID-19. Additionally, AI can also be used for diagnosis in the healthcare industry. So doctors can use artificial intelligence in order to diagnose symptoms and conditions in patients. And AI can also better the experience of patients both outside the office and in their own homes. So, according to Artificial Intelligence for Science, CSIRO, in 2000, 1.2% of all peer-reviewed research was about AI. However, in 2017, that number jumped up to 3.1%, and in 2022, that number is now at 5.7%. And so this graph shows an exponential trend, and basically, it shows that AI is becoming one of the most topical and most researched subjects, and it has one of the most potential applications in the future. So how does AI affect the research process? Quote, according to Jennifer Chubb, who has a doctorate of computer science from University of York in London, quote, there's excitement about the opportunities AI brings for analyzing large amounts of unstructured data, increasing the amount of database research which can be performed, providing community impetus to the curation of big scientific data sets, and simplifying and speeding up the research process. Essentially, artificial intelligence speeds up the research process by automating certain things. It allows for faster gathering of data, and machine learning enables AI to essentially analyze data at a much faster rate. So what are some issues with AI in science? So there are two main issues with AI when it comes to decision making, and that is common sense and emotion. So unlike humans, artificial intelligence lacks common sense and emotion needed to make decisions. So for example, when it comes to things such as the humanitarian issues, or the judicial system, or any legislative issues, AI cannot be used to perform any decisions because it lacks common sense and emotion.
So now let's view the effects of AI from an economical standpoint. There was a quote said by Swedish philosopher Nick Bostrom that says that machine intelligence is the last invention that humanity will ever need to make. Bostrom establishes what has already been established in this presentation, which is that AI will soon overtake humanity. The civilization of humanity will eventually be overtaken by AI. While some may find this thought intimidating, there are actually a lot of benefits that come out of this concept, which are actually advantageous to the economy worldwide. So the most prominent outcome of AI in the economy is advanced productivity. AI increases the efficiency of which things are done at, and it also vastly improves the decision-making process by analyzing large amounts of data. It can also spawn the new creations for new products, services, markets, industries, and this also boosts the consumer demand as well as generates new revenue streams. Here, this image represents the GDP, the gross domestic product, growth of the U.S. economy since 2016. And if you take a look at North America, you can see that the total impact of GDP marks 14.5% or $3.7 trillion. Compared to other parts of the world, you can see how drastically the market was influenced by the impact of AI. Data from previous cases makes the job easier for AI, and these gains will be accelerated by advanced readiness, as well for businesses and consumers, as well as the rapid accumulation of data and increased customer insight. However, the National Bureau of Economical Research found that since 1980, there has been a 50 to 70% increase in U.S. wage inequality due to automation. This is a problem since owners and inventors of AI will eventually benefit over the working class, since the working class will lose their jobs to AI, since they're not as knowledgeable in the topic, and this causes unemployment.
So the ethics of artificial intelligence. So problems to address that are constantly going through our present time is overproduction, misuse, and exploitation, and unethical smart devices. In the problem of overproduction, as years go on, time to time, jobs will be taken by AI as they'll be seen as more productive and efficient. So it's almost unethical to take jobs from a mass amount of people if it's proposed to get better efficiency. So in this graph, you see from 2026, we could go from having the total truck job becoming totally used by AI to almost all human tasks. In misuse, with the ideas of manipulating and using AI against others, ideas like deepfakes, which are digital deceptions of another's face for use of identity theft, it's almost seen as unethical to use that against someone to harm or for own benefit. Also, same as weapon automation, the ability to use that against someone to harm is unethical. So like this picture, you can see deepfakes of everyone's face and using it for identity theft. With unethical smart devices like Alexa, Siri, or Cortana, it challenges the idea of privacy of everyone in society and everyone's own benefits. For an AI to use and have no emotions or jurisdictions, it goes against the impact on society and its overall database. With the ethics of AI, it lacks awareness for overall perspective, for it to have no emotions and right from wrong.
Alright, so now to address these issues, we propose two solutions. Our first solution is an artificial intelligence administration, which would be a federal agency that would have four main functions. The first function would be regulating AI's capabilities to make sure that it benefits humans and does not harm their safety or privacy. We would also have guidelines, things like promoting augmentation or amplifying humans' abilities rather than automating or completely replacing them. And then it would further transparency by validating the data metrics that are used to train AI systems, and it would also enforce third-party testing to eliminate any bias. And then finally, we have responsibility. It would make sure that businesses are held accountable for misuse.
So some pros and cons to this is that with the regulation, it will allow for humans to control the nature and the scope of AI, and it will also help prevent the misuse of AI systems, as well as prevent unintended bias through rigorous testing and validation of data metrics. However, some problems with this, as due to the need to develop AI, it will slow the innovative process, and it also requires more time and resources. It might stifle the growth of AI by reducing prospects in AI from reaching its full potential, and it requires significant funding.
AI can be democratized in three ways. One would be affordable access. This would allow everyone to have access to AI regardless of financial status. Two would be a workforce development. This would allow training programs and proper education to those who are more likely to be displaced by AI. And three would be a diverse workforce. This would make room for diversity and prevent bias, as well as allow several populations to feel represented.
Pros of democratizing AI could be enabling people to develop and use it continuously and to prevent social and economic inequalities from worsening over time. This could help workers to transition from their old jobs that are disrupted by AI and transitioning to their new jobs. And some cons could be that data available with AI and data should always be secured and monitored. By training a workforce and funding it, we can allocate money towards these programs and educating new workers. And there's always unconscious bias that will always be present.
Alright, so now given both of these solutions, our final solution is an AI administration that would also have some of the things from our second solution. First of all, it would carefully regulate AI to make sure that it doesn't stifle its growth.
It would set guidelines so it's unbiased and fair for everyone.
It would ensure and monitor affordable access.
And and would fund companies to train workforce in transit old disrupted jobs and new jobs.
Thank you.
So we're going to ask each of you folks a question. Daniel,
Yeah.
if you had another team member, what other lens or perspective could they have researched that would have made a useful contribution to the project?
I think that if you had another member, I think the futuristic lens would definitely be one of the best lenses to research in this case. All of our lenses kind of overlapped a little bit and touched upon the futuristic lens. For example, I talked about how over time the research on AI might get better, or how Nathan talked about how jobs might get replaced, but we only briefly touched upon it, and there's so much more that can be discussed. And when I was researching, I saw examples of like self-driving cars, or even more like chatbot systems and stuff like that. And I think that is just something that can be looked into more further.
Okay. Saloni, which group member's individual report was the most influential in the team's solution?
Yeah, so I think Nathan's report was the most influential. He looked at the ethics of AI, and he specifically looked at things like how AI could be misused, how it could be used to manipulate people, things like how overproduction of AI could actually hurt jobs, and how AI doesn't have like emotions and common sense like humans have. And so that was really influential in both of our solutions. In the first solution, we took a look at how we don't want to harm people's safety and privacy. And so that was a huge thing in regulating AI. And in our second solution, we took a look at making sure that AI is tested. And so yeah, basically I think he contributed most to our solution through basically identifying all these different problems with the ethics of AI.
Okay. Clapping up. Reflecting on your colleagues' work, which one had the greatest impact on your overall understanding of the problem your group identified?
I think Saloni's lens of choosing a societal point of view was very influential because she kind of set the scope of like what exactly AI has done to the world and how its invention has impacted so many populations, how it's created problems. However, like automation, like augmentation versus automation, it has replaced kind of humans. And I think by setting the scope of that, she kind of like set a basis of like what exactly we all were going to go into. And because of that, I think it was very influential.
Okay. And lastly, Nathan, whose report in your group do you feel was the most contradictory to your findings?
Since I focused really on the unethical side of it, Saloni really focused on society, where she focused on the standard of living and how all those benefits of AI really contribute to society, and how by taking any one of those away can kind of lead us back or have a severe problem. So I really had to focus on my part, that whatever she was talking about, that I couldn't contradict with that.
Okay. Thank you.